I thought I just talked about this. Okay, well, this week our I rating went from a 1071 down to a 916, and our safety rating went from a 3.4 to a 3. There's a reason for that, and it mostly has to do with the last video I did talking about running one car. We'll get to that. But the majority of our races this week were in the Turn Touring Car Challenge. We didn't really participate in the Michelin Pilot Series because we had our sights set on bigger things. But in the Turn Touring Car Challenge, in our little Audi RS3, our overall standings in our division 7 is 10th place. Our average start is still 6th. Our average finish is still 7th. And this week we placed 27th with an average start of 6th, an average finish of 7th, doing 160 laps in races total. It was at Laguna Seca this week, which back in September was the last time we raced this track. So we've had about 5 months in between. Our best time on our first race this week was a 134.487. And we brought that down to a 133.699 in practice and a 133.744 in a race. Whereas our previous best all that time ago was a 136.5. So pretty marked improvement there, if I do say so myself, over this course of time. That's kind of, it's the longest period in between running this exact same race that we've been able to kind of measure, which that makes me pretty happy that just out of the gate we were like 2 seconds faster, and we got it down to nearly 3 seconds faster than last time. The 133s I wasn't able to really pull off with any kind of consistency, but we were able to get pretty much 135 was our slowest time during a race, except for like maybe the starting lap, which that makes sense. Midway through the week, I got another lesson from Bruno Carneiro. This time he was teaching me how to drive the GT3 cars, the BMW that we raced at Oulton Park last week. He told me, amongst other things, I need to trust the aero more. I need to get on the gas with a little bit more confidence in the higher speed corners, and need to still work on my trail braking and using the whole track. So we practiced in the lesson on Road America, which is where IMSA was at this week, and I forgot to save the replay of my my race there, but we did try racing that IMSA, and oh boy, doing the multi-class in the GT3 cars with the GTEs and the LMP cars is stressful. We made it most of the way through the race. We didn't end up in any accidents that included other cars, but we did get off the track at I think turn 2 and kind of wrecked the car, and the amount of time it was going to take to repair it was longer than the rest of the race, so we ducked out there. And then we kind of split our time the rest of the week through the Turn series and the VRS GT3 series, and we ended up doing, on the last day of the races that I did, like 2 VRS races. Both of them went okay, not as good as it did last week, but the first one we had an issue with the computer kind of goofing up and lagging pretty hard into a corner, which caused me to go off track and crash. Again, didn't take anybody else with me. The second race we completed, even though we had this wild encounter with a car who had been flashing his lights at me trying to get past, and then he did a little oopsie. Which somehow we survived. We got a 4X collision, but like it didn't seem to hurt the car. And then you know, when we had done the same thing in practice, we pulled it off a little bit better. But then we after surviving that wreck, we kind of had our own little oopsie while we were having much braggadocio about staring death down, and had our own little off track, which I towed out of because I wanted to get the car off the track as fast as possible. But that one ended okay. Again, they both went okay, and that's why the I rating is going down, is because, like I said in that other video, concentrating on 2 cars is a little difficult. I don't think towards the end of the week, when I was trying to get up to speed in the BMW, I think I lost some of my abilities with the Audi. So I don't know exactly what I want to do. That brings me to an interesting dilemma. Next week's races, I've got some choices. I could continue with the Audi, because that's what we're going to be running at the Nürburgring, at the Nürburgring 24. Do I finish out the season focusing more on that instead of like trying to bridge my way to the GT3s for next season? Or do I keep doing this, splitting my time and kind of getting bad at both? It's a confusing situation I've put myself in here. The races next week, the turn series in the Audi would be Oran Park, which I've never raced before. The Michelin Pilot series, which would again be the Audi, would be at Sonoma Raceway, again never raced it. VRS, which is just GT3 cars, is at Mount Panorama, which I've raced before but I'm not terribly good at. And then the IMSA series, which is the multi-class that has us with the GTEs and LMP2 cars, which is really scary, is at Spa, which of these 4 courses I probably know the best. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do, but the best laid plans of mice and men, something. We'll see how it goes. I have a feeling I'm probably going to go back to trying to concentrate on the Audi. Maybe trying to get a Mount Panorama race in, although I don't know how wise that is, considering, but we'll see. Till next time, folks. Adios.